Welcome, Marit Lal. Well, this whole issue of women and the girl child in India was a big one for me in a previous life when I covered what was called then the developing world. I did quite a few stories and a big documentary about female infanticide and the killing of girl children in India, and it was truly shocking, actually. And I'm just very hopeful that after talking to you, we will find that things have changed an awful lot since then. And I'm sure we will. And it's great to have you here as a great champion, I know, for women and women's rights. What can we start by just asking? I mean, the Human Rights Commission of India. What are you there for? What do you do? What's your sort of big project there?
Thank you so much. Her Majesty, the Inspectors, Ms. Verma, Rupaji, and friends. Indeed, it's a privilege for me to be here and sharing something about India. What Emily asked me. Let's see the context. What I'm going to talk about is this 1.44 billion population, 18% of world population. 4 religions originated here: Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, and they all preach non-violence. Non-violence is the core of this. 3 religions came from West Asia: Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. And Zoroastrianism survived here. But in India, first thing is not tolerance, it is acceptance. Let's keep this thing in mind that Indian society is all about acceptance. Anybody who's coming, any society, any person, any background, accept. Now, if you see the women, the role of women and girls, in modern times, if you believe in God and goddesses, three powerful symbols: wealth, power, and education. And they are not represented by God in India. They are not represented by male. Actually, in Indian culture, goddess for wealth, goddess for education, goddess for power. That is the culture. Yes, in a couple of last 3-4 centuries or maybe going by, there have been certain aberrations. But Indian society has that kind of resilience that they brought those kind of reforms. They say Social Vidyasagar, Rajaram Mohan Rai, a number of them.
Can you talk about some of the...
Yeah, but more important, see the independence. Before that independence movement also, all women got involved. Post-independence, women were given equal power and equal responsibility. Now, what India is doing since last couple of decades, if you see, that basic amenities to every family. There's a clean drinking water or toilet, there's a dignity, or electricity, or cooking gas, or all these facilities at home to every person, whether you are living in urban area.
So can I just slow you down? So are you saying now, because this used to be a massive problem when I was travelling around India, the toilet situation was dire, wasn't it? And that's particularly bad and difficult for women. What you've done a big program, haven't you, to improve basic sanitation?
So what we have done basically, 2014 we launched this program. Like 110 million families have been provided toilets. It means roughly 600 million people are having access to toilet. Clean drinking water, same thing. You can say 150 million households have been provided clean drinking water.
And this is government intervention. This is government coming in and investing.
It's a government intervention. Public funding is there. 100% public funding is there. Mm-hmm. But idea is that improve the quality of life of women, girls, so that they can join workforce. And allow me to give the result that in 2014, roughly 18% women were in workforce, and today more than 27% women are in workforce because of A, basic amenities, and B, safety and security at workplaces and giving them dignity.
Because that's a big issue as well, isn't it? Women in the public place, safety, security, not being harassed, and that's been a big issue, hasn't it, in the press?
Well, there have been aberrations, or 1 or 2 cases keeps on happening, no doubt. But allow me to give 1 or 2 examples. Like Apple just put their factories, and imagine 38,000 employees, all are young women. All young women.
All women in
all
the factory.
38,000 all young women. I just last month I went to Chennai in garment factory. 28,000 at one place, all women, young women. They are also going, education and skilling as well as working in the factory. So I think that culture is coming. But
But
yes,
it's real jobs. I mean, as Sarah was saying, the key to solving so many problems is real jobs, isn't it? And to help with the trafficking of women and all the rest of it. So are you saying you're encouraging corporations to actually open factories that just employ women?
so our approach has been three or four-fold actually. A, basic amenities at home. B, safe, secure and dignified workplaces. But more important is education and skilling. Because if you get them good education and good skilling, I think they feel empowered. They are not subjugated. We don't have that kind of challenges. That change is happening in India today actually. If you see, that is the real change. Imagine in STEM branches, 43% are girls actually. In science, technology, mass management, 43% are girls are coming. Or see the other way around. Last 20-25 years, 50% seats have been reserved in local self-government for women. Now we have got 1.4 million women leaders. And now at parliament level and state assemblies, we have reserved one-third seats. So we expect that these empowered leaders, they'll be at national level and state level. And what we call developing responsible and responsive leadership. Responsible and responsive leadership. That is the approach of Government of India. And you said about National Human Rights Commission. Well, our job is protection, promotion of human rights, A, and B, of course, outreach. And just give me 1 minute about this thing. At national level, we have got National Human Rights Commission. At state level, provincial level, we have got state human rights commissions. At national level, in Human Rights Commission, all sectoral commission is for National Commission for Women, for Children, for backward classes, minorities, all are member here, And so it's a very huge network, and we have got our own investigative agencies. If there is any complaint or even so moto we take cognizance, we depute these officers and go and investigate.
So you will go and investigate. If you hear about some issue with slavery or exploitation, you will investigate.
See, every day roughly 300 plus cases, complaints we receive about human rights violation, and mostly about girls or women.
Every day?
Every day.
300 cases a day.
And we have got a force of total roughly 500 people. And in different parts of country, we depute them for investigation. And B, so moto, somebody in newspaper or some media or social media, if we just hear some complaint, like couple of weeks you must have heard that one girl died actually. She was working in one of the big force consulting agencies. And we see this case actually, so moto we take the case. It's a very different kind of problem where basically young girls who's vulnerable and having huge pressure, work pressure, and she died. I mean, that's the complaint. So we depute officers and we go there and investigate, and then commission has power, statutory power to take action.
Right. And I understand one of your other sort of big areas that you're very proud of is the whole issue of housing and property ownership, because that's another key factor for women, isn't it? It's whether they actually own it.
See, as many of you might be knowing that India, there are some states, Eastern India and Southern India, who are matriarchal, but most of the India have been patriarchal society. So property, usually in the name of wives or men. So what government did actually a few years back, we brought this change, that if someone is getting property in the name of a girl or a daughter or wife, female, 2% rebate will be given registration fee. And 2% is a very huge amount because registration fee is roughly 8% of the total transaction, total amount. B, take Jammu and Kashmir. There the local law says that if a girl is marrying outsider, she will not inherit property. But if a boy is marrying an outside girl, he will inherit the property. So we abolished that law, that no, in whole of India, every girl have the same right as the boys are there. And third part, one example I'll give, triple talaq. I mean, women used to be massively vulnerable because of one factor. Husband comes at home, he's unhappy, and just talaq, and she's on the street. So I think Supreme Court, I think that grade should be given to Supreme Court of India. They said it's unconstitutional. So today at least No girl or no married woman can be threatened in this way by her in-laws or her husband that well, I'm unhappy and hereby I'm divorcing without any liability.
Have
Without
you,
any liability.
and have you had any pushback on that one?
I think India is modernizing. The point I'm trying to make is
Yeah.
modernizing, and there's a comprehensive, strategy that women, if you make it better, we want that our family's income gets doubled. See, the strategy you have to just appreciate that we want that every family's income is doubled in next 5 to 7 years. And if we create that enabling environment, so women join workforce and they are more productive, they are able to contribute.
Tell us about where some of these ideas came from, because I understand you're from Gujarat, and there was a lot of things that were learned, weren't there, after the big earthquake in Gujarat. I remember going back and doing a documentary there, and a lot of people were sort of saying, actually, the earthquake kind of propelled us forward in a sort of bizarre way. I mean, it was a terrible tragedy at the time, and people were killed, and it was awful. But it meant that a lot of villages were rebuilt, and they were rebuilt with amenities, with toilets, with all kinds of things, which has actually made people's lives better. It was like a kind of a jump. And I just wonder how much that whole Gujarati experience has influenced what's going on now.
See, please see that our freedom fighter, take Mahatma Gandhi, he came from Gujarat. Take Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, even Muhammad Ali Jinnah, all these leaders came from that particular state. It is a very egalitarian society. And allow me just narrate one small incident. In 2001, when earthquake took place, so I was in Delhi, I was deputed and went there actually. And I was standing on the road. And imagine more than 20,000 people had died, 165,000 houses have been totally destroyed. So there was one trolley where somebody was distributing food. And one Gujarati woman, she got 2 packets. I was standing there. She came back, returned one food packet and said in Gujarati local language that it can be used for others. I think these are the inspiration for this from that society. And post earthquake, we did the same thing. That we trusted people that whole rehabilitation and reconstruction has to be done by people themselves. House has to be constructed. We will provide money, we will give them training and give them material, please construct your houses. When it came to water, sanitation, everything, in every village we form a committee of 10 to 15 members. More than 50% has to be women. Compulsorily it has to be. And we never bothered that which village, which caste, which religion, which group is staying. It's a universal phenomenon that in every village, all these facilities to be provided, irrespective of anything. It has to be locally planned, managed, implemented, executed, operated, maintained, primarily by women, because we wanted to develop responsible and responsive women leadership at the village level.
Okay, so what keeps you awake at night, if anything, in terms of the challenges? I mean, there's obviously a lot of good things going on, but the problems have not gone away, and there are still issues. What do you worry about with India and the sort of the society and the way it's going?
See, I think the biggest challenge what we are facing today is that yes, a number of things are happening, but I think education holds the key. B, skilling. C, healthcare. Okay, Her Majesty was talking about AI. Just imagine, we have got 1.8 million habitations, 650,000 villages. How to ensure that in each village, in hills, in mountains, in forested area, in border area, in tribal area, we have got good maths teacher. We have got good science teacher. We have got good skilling person who can provide this thing. And what we are doing basically is that using AI to provide good math teacher, good science teacher, good skilling person. And lastly, take digital health. What you need basically on your telephone. In every village, you have a family doctor. You have certain problem, explain the person and you have this thing. This is the leapfrog factor. And we are using AI and digital technology as a leapfrog factor in ensuring all these services. So yes, a lot of distance we have to travel. We have to travel a lot of distance, but there is an intent and there is a work going on. And last, I think as you know that climate change is reality. And whole Indian subcontinent, I think is one of the most affected by these issues, whether cyclone or flood or drought. So I think we are working on that because women are most vulnerable, especially in rural areas.
Well, I think that's a very good place to end, as we're going to be going on to climate change in just a moment. But thank you so much, Bharat Lal. That was fascinating.
Thank you so much.